Do you struggle with anger towards someone in your life right now? Well, in this video, I will show you how anger is actually an amazing tool that can help you, the empath, set healthy boundaries. Hello, darling soul, and welcome. I'm Carolyn, and I partner with horses to help you, the empath, get out of your head, into your heart, and claim your true power. Anger. That terrible, awful emotion that we are taught from a very early age to push aside and suppress. Perhaps as a child, when you had a tantrum, you were expected to immediately calm down, told to stop crying, or threatened with being isolated from a timeout. So from a very early age, we are conditioned to view anger as negative, something not to express. We learn that it's not okay and has no place in polite society. We steer clear from people who have anger issues, and we do our best to hide our own anger from others, fearing that it may ostracize us too. The thing is, anger is just an emotion, and like any other emotion, it actually isn't good or bad. It just is. It's what we do with that anger that can get us into trouble. Horses use anger all the time to set boundaries in a very healthy way. And so can you, the empath, if you choose to use your anger in the moment, without judgment, as a healthy way to set boundaries. Let's dive in. Suppressing your anger just pushes it further and further down. However, it never goes away. Your emotions are a divining rod. If you can tune in and listen to them, they are trying to tell you something, and anger is no exception. If you keep stuffing your anger down, trying to pretend it's not there, and make it go away, that important message that's trying to reveal to you in the moment will have to get louder and louder until, boom, all of a sudden it explodes up into a rage and you are finally forced to listen. This is something that I personally used to struggle with, and many of my empath clients do as well. You have internalized your people-pleasing ways into an identity of niceness. The more you are valued and praised for your niceness, the more you hide that ugly, angry side of yourself. And the more you hide it, the less you know how to deal with it when it bubbles up and boils over. So you become really good at pushing it down until you just can't take it anymore. And bam, you erupt into a rage seemingly out of nowhere. But of course, it never comes from nowhere. It comes from day after day, or maybe even years after years of not listening to it, until it finally has to explode in order to make you pay attention. Pay attention to what exactly? Well, in the horse world, it's actually super easy to see. A horse will pin its ears back, and if that's not enough, lunge towards another horse if they cross the physical boundary into its space. Of course, through our human lens, this may look mean or aggressive because it looks like that horse is angry at the other horse. But the horse isn't angry at all. It's just using that emotion of anger in a completely neutral way. It is using that anger, that aggression, if you will, to simply communicate, get out. Here's the thing. The other horse doesn't take it personally at all. It doesn't go into a corner and start crying because the other horse is mad at them. Instead, horses do something that is very challenging for us. They communicate that the boundary has been crossed, they respond to the emotion, and then both horses release the energy and go back to doing what horses do, either grazing or resting. In other words, they go back to being calm, centered, and at ease. And this is what is possible for you, the empath. Of course, as an empath, you generally do quite the opposite. You don't respond in the moment, and you certainly don't communicate get out of my space, for fear of being mean, rude, uncaring, or selfish. And on top of that, you stuff down your anger from that disturbance to your energetic space, your boundary. And that's precisely the key. It's your boundary. So it's your responsibility to know where that is and then communicate it to others who may be crossing into your space. Horses do this so naturally and so brilliantly with their physical space, which is obvious when it comes to your physical space as well. For example, when someone is a close talker, you immediately take a step back without even thinking about it. But for humans, we have the added complexities and nuances of our emotional and energetic space to factor in. These, of course, are much harder to discern, but the moment those feelings of discomfort, frustration, and irritation arise, those beginning sparks of anger start to burn within you. That is the opportunity for you to say, oh, hey, this is starting to infringe too much on my emotional space or consume too much of my time or energy. I better communicate that clearly with a very simple yet powerful, no, I'm not available for you to get that close right now. And this is the critical component, the right now, because in the next moment, it may be too late. You need to think of boundaries not as a concrete wall surrounding you, but instead, healthy boundaries are actually soft and flexible. They move with you moment to moment in your life and in each of your relationships. Looking at horses again, sometimes they are side by side, they are touching each other through grooming or playful nudges and nips, but other times one horse could be 10 feet away, and that's still too close for comfort in that specific moment. So perhaps sometimes you may have more energy and more time to let others come in, and other times you just don't. Some relationships you can give more of your emotional space, like your spouse or your children, yet others, maybe a neighbor or a coworker, there's less to give, and that is okay. What will help you discern whether someone is invading too much of your energetic space, your emotions, your time, your energy, is that rising feeling of anger. For me, my chest starts to tighten and I start to hold my breath. Sometimes knots form in my stomach and I just get a general sense of, this doesn't feel right. What does it look like for you? When you are attuned to your emotions, your divining rods, when you accept all of them without judgment and use them as a guide, then this is how you can respond in the moment and then immediately release them before your anger slowly builds over time and eventually erupts as a volcano that burns both you and everyone else in its path. I hope this video helped you to understand how anger can help you set a healthy boundary so that you can quickly know and then communicate your personal boundaries. What are your signs of anger rising and how do you handle them? Let me know in the comments below, as I absolutely love hearing from you. If you'd like to go even deeper, then I invite you to check out my latest free offering in the description. And if it's community you're looking for, then be sure to join my Facebook group, the Gentle Warrior Collective, to find support from big-hearted empaths just like you. And as always, if you received any benefit from this video, please show it some love by giving it a like and clicking subscribe so I may continue to create more videos that support you with getting out of your head, back into your heart, and claiming your true power. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.